Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. Tonight we're going to do another roundtable critique. We have four of us here, so this will be more fun. We can go into more depth, more detail. We can tear each other up pretty bad.
Oh no.
um, we've got 4 or 5 images, so why don't we just jump right into it, okay? Let's share the screen. Remember, this is a roundtable. So everything is fair. Jump in, talk, give us your impressions, your suggestions for improvement. We'll keep it civil as always. And Richard, I guess since yours is up, we're going to start with yours. Tell us about the image, please. What your vision was when you were standing there looking at this guy. Did you ask him permission?
Yes, I did. In fact, I was shooting landscapes. This was in Cuban Vinales, and they have these large hills in the valleys, and you can see these limestone hills in the background. And so he was a waiter at the hotel, and as I was walking up to the hotel, he was taking a break, smoking a cigarette. And I asked him if I could take his picture, and he gave me the big thumbs up. And I asked him if he could just cross his arms, and he did that and politely posed for me.
Wow, a twofer. You even got to pose him.
Well,
That
yeah.
is perfect. All right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I mean, I kind of also asked him to look off instead of in the direction he is, but I didn't speak. I just kind of pointed, and he was very nice and cooperative.
Okay. Wow, I love the colors in this image. These are lovely. The light pink pastels, the dirty whites of the trim on the windows. I take it this is not a chimney. This must be some sort of water control down off the big roof.
Or support column. It's just part of the building.
All right, this is lovely. Good mood shot. Great eye contact. Good job talking to him. I think crossing his arms made a huge difference. I love the colors. The composition is nice.
So I played with the lines the best I could. I didn't know quite what to do with the lines. I tried to square them up some, but there's so many different lines running so many different directions. That's part of my problem with this.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at that and thinking about that very thing. And you did square up the lines on the edges of the window and this column here. Unfortunately, you're shooting at such an oblique angle onto this gentleman that you're only going to get either the verticals or the horizontals. You're not going to get both. The only thing that you could have done maybe was go in a little bit tighter, but I think if you do that, you lose a lot. So that doesn't really work. That doesn't really add anything other than taking out this half shutter here. Let's try a little bit tighter yet. Let's start here and work our way. See, and even if we do that, even if we go in a lot tighter, then we start losing this top edge of this window, which I honestly think, Richard, that this is one of those deals that sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. I just don't think that there's much you could do compositionally speaking other than physically walking to the right. Then you would have had to have really reposed him and had him turned more in the window and hang out a little bit more. And that would have solved all of the angular issues. Perhaps even allowed you to get some of this this tinted glass on the top as well. and keep the lines square.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's a lovely picture the way it is. I like the fact that we can see detail through the windows of the inside hallway. Yet we're getting a slight reflection off of them. Did you have a polarizer on by chance?
No, no, this is early morning. The sun was just rising.
I don't know. I think it's a lovely portrait.
Thank you.
I really do. I wonder how that would look vertical. Do you mind if I try that?
Sure.
That's kind of nice there too. I mean, it works well both ways. But if we do it this way, we lose the character of the building, and I think that's a big part of the overall image. I think that your original interpretation of this works better. Let me step backward and bring that back in. Because this is telling a bigger story than just the kid sitting in the window. I mean, we've got the older architecture. We have this interesting pastel pink. We've got the textures on the wall through the glass. There's just a lot going on here. You guys, chime in on this. Tell me what you think.
Well, I find it really interesting that, again, the same thing I admired in Richard's photo 2 weeks ago was that I assume this didn't take you very long to do, Richard, and you just had such a presence of mind to think to make him, to ask him to pose. That you
Yes,
had a vision.
it was just, there were 3 shots, and, he was on his break, and I didn't want to impose too much, but I did ask him to pose.
Right.
And it just kind of miming because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just that you had the vision to ask him to do that is impressive to me, because I haven't trained my photographic mind to think that way in such an instant, And I was thinking some of the same things Mark was kind of alluding to, different crops. I don't know how much more interesting that building was if you were to go a lot wider, and maybe you would end up with less detail on him in the photo, but he would still be there as an interesting feature. But it's a great picture.
Thank you very much.
And I would say maybe there's a little bit. His hair could create such a great contrast against the wall behind him, but it's a little bit too dark, and I'm not good enough with Photoshop to kind of like figure out how to lighten up the doorway behind him and not him himself. But maybe you could just get a little bit more contrast and make his hairline pop a little more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, William?
I like the photo a lot. When Richard was talking about the lines, I never even noticed it. And like you said, Mark, it was from that angle, you're never going to get them to line up. And I really don't find it distracting in that photo that they're not that they're not lined up perfectly. It looks perfectly fine to me. I do like all the detail in the surrounding support, if you will, structure. Like you can see the cracked paint, you can see the paint drops on the window from where they painted it, and the stained glass up on top. I really don't have any gotchas that I wanted to point, or anything I think that might help. A good photo, very good photo.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is this what you were talking about, Michael?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, it brightened his face up too much, but that would have been easily overcome by putting an anchor point on his face while I had my Visa open.
Okay.
And his face would have stayed that nice warm tone there.
Right.
But you see how easily you can lighten up that background.
Yeah.
All right. Richard, I do have one suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
When you're shooting an image like this, medium bright scenery, the pinks and the whites, his skin tones are bright. His shirt is exceptionally bright, but yet he's wearing a tuxedo that's black.
Mm.
I don't know if you had it with you, but you ever carry a flash around when you're doing images like this?
Yes, I do. Because that Fuji X-T1 has that tiny pop-on flash that's, it's very easy to have with you all the time.
Mm-hmm. And that tiny pop flash may have been enough to have given a little bit more detail in the blacks right here. If you'd set the flash exposure compensation
Mm-hmm.
to like -1, just to bring out a slight amount of detail here in the black. I don't know if that would have worked or if it would have blown the shirt out too much. There is a possibility of that, but you don't know unless you try it.
Mm-hmm. I like that idea.
And since it's built into the camera, it would have taken 3 seconds to pop it up and tell it to shoot at -1.
Oh, I would have had to pull it out of the bag and put it in the shoe.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. I should have it on the camera, even though I was shooting landscapes.
You'd never know what you're going to see, or just have it in your pocket where you can throw it on real fast since you got it. Which flash do you have?
It's a tiny one that comes with the XT1.
Okay. I know which one you're talking. Yeah, I have that little metal retro flash that Fuji made too.
The EX20 or something like that?
Yeah, I think so. It's all solid metal. It's rectangular and small. And the controls are all on the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another lovely flash for travel as well. Yeah, it's just like we all said. You look at this and you think about other ways to crop this. And if you wanted to do just a portrait of the young man, then we would have gotten it closer. But I think that everything's very well balanced, and given that the vertical lines are nicely squared, these horizontal lines don't bother me at all on the top.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, it's how you would almost naturally look at it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good location shot,
It is a wonderful composition and very well executed.
Thank you.
Now, would you do anything different with it if you had the opportunity to go back and reshoot this exact scene again?
He'd put his flash on.
Okay. Well, we will go on to the next image. And that comes up to another Richard shot. So let's blow this up while you tell us about it, okay?
This is a tobacco plantation, and they have all these limestone cliffs. So we were in a restaurant that looked over the field, and I wanted to get the field in the clouds, and it was a big panorama. So I did 3-stop HDR panoramic. It's probably a 4-image stitch, but I didn't want to process it as HDR because I wanted it to look normal.
Okay.
But I didn't want the sky to be blown out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's very well thought out. Very, very well. Let's see. You shrunk this. Oh, okay. You shrunk this down to 1400 by 736.
Yeah, it's huge. I could upload it for you, but it's like, oh, I can tell you.
No. This is okay.
Okay.
I was seeing extreme pixelation when I zoomed in, and that explains why. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the very first thing I notice, and it's probably also true of this image. Yes, it is. You have your camera set to the sRGB color space. Is there a reason you do that, sir?
Oh no, these are uploads. I'm shooting raw.
Notice this camera profile that you've assigned.
Right. I thought that you wanted us to upload processed JPEGs.
Well, yes, indeed. But, excuse me, you realize that by converting to the sRGB color space, that you're removing thousands and thousands of color combinations.
No, I understand. I'm learning what you want now. But the source file is 251 megabytes. It's a ProPhoto TIFF.
Okay. All right. See, yeah, pulled it out of the fire on that one.
No, but I mean this was from raw images.
Okay. All right. Very good. I really like the framing that you've achieved here with the trees and the bushes around the edge.
Well, this is from a restaurant, so that's actually part of the roof.
Roof. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
What is this here?
Oh, almost all over Cuba, they have these shrines to Jose Marti, who who died in revolution, and it's kind of, you wonder how much of this is that the farmers know that they need to do this for the government, or that they are true believers in the revolution. Although once you get out in the country, the people there are much more adamant about being adherent to the principles of the revolution as opposed to the people in the city, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And this is tobacco?
Yes.
Okay. Wow,
I'm sorry.
This image just really sucks you into it. This has such great depth and dimensionality to it. Your exposure is lovely. I like what you did with the sky and the trees. And you said, now, the three shots that made up this HDR, what were they, like a stop apart?
Yes.
Okay. Nicely done. I love the little stairs going up. We need a little child in a dress standing here, I think. Your edges are nicely policed. There's no real gunk except for right here. If we're going to show the tree, we should see all of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
And go down and have a little bit of space down here where you see grass on this side of it. Even though it's a minor pick, my eyes are spending most of the time going around in a circle in here. But when I come back around, I settle on this little black area at the bottom of this little tree here. And maybe just lightening that up would fix that too. Right down here.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's plenty of range in this since it's HDR.
Oh my goodness, yes. And I love the clouds. What do you guys say about this? This is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it. I love the exposure. There's no, I can't find anywhere where there's no detail. And the range is great. And there's just, it's like one of those pictures we've talked about before, where you just keep looking at it and you find new stuff, like the mountains off in the distance on the left-hand horizon. And the field behind the field that's kind of just below the horizon at the top of the dirt line, kind of above that shrine. There's a whole nother field back there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And Mark, there's that tree right there that you just had your cursor over. And and even though there's so much green, there's so many different shades of green, it really works well. And the sky is just fantastic. You know,
Yeah.
it makes you want to be there.
And you've built in, compositionally speaking, that those stair steps that draw the viewer into the image. And it's not done so much with contrast changes or color contrast changes, but yet the green, the browns, the green, the browns, the green, and then we shift up into the grays and the blues, and it's like walking a set of stairs into the image.
I was curious to see how you were going to react, Mark, to the stuff at the top, because one of the things I've learned that you and some others in the cohort have really hit home, for me at least, is the policing the edges. And as soon as I saw it, I liked it because I thought of it as a framing element. And I was wondering what you were going to say about it. I was kind of surprised that you liked it, that you thought the same thing.
I'm still considering it because it's blocked up.
Okay.
I can just make out detail in there, and given the fact, Richard, that you shot this in HDR, I know there's detail in here.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you should show more detail in that?
Maybe show a bit more detail in here. Bring out some of these brown lines in the thatching.
Well, you're addressing my exact concern why I uploaded this is, do I leave the framing with the thatch roof, or is it too much of a distraction, and do I crop it out and make this into more of a panorama? And I'm really conflicted.
Well, you see, that's a really tough question. Because if you do the cropping and crop that out, we're going to crop off a lot of the sky and a lot of this tree. And I don't mind the tree so much because there's a good stopping edge here. But I do like this blue sky here. You could do a little bit of cropping and do.
That's easy to clone out, yeah.
Yeah, clone these little points here.
You nailed it. This is my question, and you did the crop that. These are my two crops that I was considering exactly.
And Michael, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've been sitting here looking at this and saying to myself, I know there's detail in there. Can we pull that detail out? Well, for sure in HDR processing.
But does it come?
But I don't know if that's worthwhile because it doesn't go all the way across.
Right.
I don't know. Let's see if we could pull out a little or force a little detail here and see.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's enough to give some idea. And to see if that's, yeah. This is the nice thing about Photoshop. We can just go back and forth and back and forth. I think if this thatch went all the way across, then that would be okay. But it really is a distraction. But it's such a large part of the composition that you're going to have to do a lot of cropping. But there's enough image left there, and then just clone these little sticks out.
Right, that's the question.
I certainly wouldn't go any low. I would not crop down here.
No.
I want to see the blue above these clouds.
Yeah.
Now, you've answered my question without me asking it. So my big question is, which way should I go?
That's your choice, my friend.
I understand that.
Let's just do it. All right.
Actually, my crop was a little bit lower than that. Not much, but...
Yeah. Well, I was trying to keep a little bit of space, solid green area here. And I like seeing the extra blue at the top.
Yeah.
If you think that you have the Photoshop skills to go in and clone these out, I think I would crop this high and then take these out.
If I brought it down a little bit more, I have the skills for that, but that amount would be tough. I could try it, but
Hold on. Let's just do it again. We have the technology.
Content aware. Oh.
Yes, we could do content aware.
no, but I was talking about right about there. There you go. There you go. That's what I was talking about. There we go. Now that would be relatively easy.
Yeah, that is easy. And this still looks good over here.
Yeah.
All right, and we still have blue above the sky. You could go ahead and crop these out, or clone these out.
Right.
And then do a content-aware fill up here. All right, and have it pull some of this blue out as well, and some of the branches here, and maybe make it a bit larger. But it's really not necessary if you clone these out. I do think that this is a much more powerful image. I mean, I was just sitting here staring at that, thinking about what to do.
This kind of image, too, as wide as the field is, the panoramic looks better, that ratio.
Oh, it does.
One thing I was going to say, and you and Michael both hit on it, it's when I first looked at this image, it's like there are certain pictures that need to be in color, right? And this is one of those because it's just like a color delight from the foreground all the way up through to the sky.
Are you positive about that?
Well, I'm sure you could turn it into black and white and it'd be no problem, but this is one that merits color.
Oh, it does merit color. But
I'm sure you can make it look good in black and white, but
well, maybe. Let's put a green filter. There we go.
And you put the green on there because that was the predominant color?
I put the green on there because the green filter has a tendency to brighten up various shades of leaves throughout an image. Here it is. I mean, this is just a straight black and white conversion. Okay, no recipes. And I just drop in, and I put that green because I put the green filter in because we have a lot of green in here.
Right.
And it immediately increased that dimensionalness of that image.
Is that how you would use those filters in Silver Effects? Is whatever the predominant color is, start out with that filter and see how it looks?
No. These filters are meant to emulate the actual glass filters that are used by black and white photographers. To darken the sky, the maximum darkness is red. See how it adds contrast and darkens the blues?
I used to use yellow filters in my film days.
Yep, orange is a slightly less, yellow slightly less. Here's nothing. There's yellow, see?
Right.
Green enhances foliage, and blue's just strange and bizarre.
Gotcha.
Did you ever use blue, Richard?
No, I used yellows primarily, and then I had a set of color temperature filters, but that got complicated.
Yeah, no, I use red, yellow, and green. That's what I carry with me. But this is nice in black and white too. It's different, and it depends upon your artistic vision.
No doubt. It's a bit crisper in black and white.
Well, and look, I don't want to get long-haired on you, but black and white enables you to see the image without the clutter that the color provides.
I'm seeing that as I'm starting to convert things. I've been experimenting with it,
but color is really nice in this too.
On this image, yes.
It's so good that I would do this image both ways. And Richard, I typically do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm taking color shots, I will always post-process my color first, save the image, and then I will convert it to black and white and work with it to see if I can get a powerful image in black and white as well, and then save that image separately.
Wow, because I've always done it from raw up, color separate from black and white, but that makes it a lot easier.
Well, I'm going to tell you why you want to do it my way. And that is because the black and white conversion is going to be using the color processing that you do in the image. So if you go through and you balance the colors, you enhance the greens, you enhance the blue, you bring out texture and tonality in the sky, the black and white converter is going to have more color to be able to give you a crisper, moodier black and white.
Okay.
You're always going to get your best black and white images off of finished color images. Always, always. Unless, of course, you go out and you should shoot black and white only with film. And there is something to be said about revisiting that, Richard. Hint, hint.
Well, now that I have the 820 filter, that's primarily black and white, but gives different effects.
Yes, and this would have been absolutely stunning at 820. And you mean 830? Did you buy the?
He meant 830, yeah.
I meant 830, the
Okay.
093.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just got an 093 for $40, a 52 millimeter to fit on that 35 millimeter lens.
Oh, nice.
I
You see,
had to do a little bargaining on eBay.
there you go. You see, I've had all of the conversions, and it's been my experience from my style of shooting personally that I tend to shoot at 850, not 830, 850. And I shoot there 99% of the time. Rarely do I venture down into the land of color anymore in my infrared. Could be it's because I'm lazy now. It could be because I really like the deep contrast black and whites. I don't know. I don't know, but that seems to be what I do. But yeah, crop this, clone these sticks out. The post-processing on this is just dead on perfect, man. You don't have to do anything to this. Play with it black and white too.
I will. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh my goodness. This is another one of those crazy, wild Michael shots, isn't it?
I like the square crop already.
Oh, yeah. Lord almighty. I love the pooled reflections and the work in black and white. It's a very artsy-fartsy, woo-woo self-portrait.
Well, you're going to see these again, Mark, because this one and the one from 2 weeks ago and a few others, they'll be in my next level.
Oh, yeah? You mean somebody's actually going to do a level?
Do we have to?
I've been taking pictures for this level for about 4 months now.
Goody. God, I felt like I'm losing myself in here. Nobody's moving forward. Not that I want you to move forward, because ultimately shit happens, like it's happening with James now. He leaves.
Yeah.
And it's I didn't think that was going to be any big deal, but it's like having your children grow up and then leave home, and then you have that empty spot.
I have too much to learn, so I just take my time.
Yeah, right. What have you got to learn?
No, I do. You don't understand.
This is just wild artsy, Michael. This is wonderful.
You see me in there?
I do.
I said this was a selfie.
It's a good one. I like it.
It is. It's very artsy-fartsy.
I love the fact that you can make out the hand, but you can't really make out the face that well.
Yeah, but this is the hand here, too.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I see, but I don't. It's hard for me to see his face, which is it leaves a lot to be interpreted.
Yeah,
Richard,
what exactly?
Look a little more toward the dark spot. You can see the camera in front of my face.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What exactly is this reflection taken? Oh, look at that.
Oh, yes, now. Oh, that's cool.
I see two hands here, but yet I'm seeing another one here.
Yeah, it's just a double reflection.
What are we reflecting in?
It's a skylight.
You're shooting up.
I'm shooting straight up at a skylight.
Man, this is difficult. Are you laying down?
No,
He's standing.
I think I thought about it though because I was getting a neck ache trying to get like a perfectly squared up framing.
Yeah, I couldn't even bend my neck with all those titanium cages in my neck. I couldn't do this.
Yeah.
I'd have to lay on the floor, put it on a tripod, and with the Sunny, I can lay the mirror out or lay the LCD panel out so I can see it. But boy, this is wild. I really like this, Michael. I'm not even going to suggest any improvements on it. This appeals to me in every way.
Okay. It's like, but it's like, I don't know. It's so off the charts, artsy fartsy, like you said. How would you?
You can offer an improvement. It's your vision, man, and it's a good vision.
I mean, you could say things like, well, in Silver Effects, let's give these metallic reflections a bit more metallic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's done with contrasts.
Right.
Give them a silvery look here, a platinum look here. But it works just the way it is.
You can actually see me again up here in the top right corner. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah. Now that you point it out.
And even in the lower right corner, you can see my hands as well.
Oh, this is not a flat piece of glass in the skylight.
No, it's domed. It's sort of. It's not even a dome. It's
like a square. Yeah.
Believe it or not, this is your head here.
Is it?
There's your hand in the camera.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. I didn't notice that.
And here we are here.
Yeah.
You're stretched out.
Yeah, there's a black hole.
You get the big old hand and long fingers going here.
Yeah.
Now, did you add the graininess to this as well?
I believe so, Mark. I processed this one some time ago, but I think I did, yeah.
This is stunning.
I'm sure it was probably a fairly high ISO, though, because it was kind of dark. Does it show what it was?
Print this thing out on a metallic paper and stand by to be blown away. I just love this. Very well done.
Thanks.
I'm not going to say any more so I can tear it apart later.
You never tell them you're going to put it in your Michael.
That's just such a horrid mistake.
All right. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Love this.
I want to read all the signs.
All right, William. What in the world were you thinking here?
This is a neighborhood right south of mine, and it's pretty much what happens in Houston. They build these. This is a probably upper middle class neighborhood, and when they develop everything, they always put there's no zoning here, so they put like multi-unit housing, apartments, strip centers, and all this. And we've got horrible urban sprawl. So what happens is instead of keeping up the apartments and the strip centers, they just go further west and build more. And this neighborhood is right across the street to my back is an apartment complex that's in really bad disrepair. And that street used to go through. This is a public street. So they actually gated off so the people from the apartments can't cut through their neighborhood. So it's their gated community, if you will, now.
You're definitely gated and signed. Well, this really works well in black and white, doesn't it?
I thought so, yeah. The color didn't add much to it. I thought it was good for black and white.
Let's zoom out a bit here. I just want to look at something real quick.
Sure. Yeah, you know, and I cropped it tighter than what the original frame was. And, yeah, I can see that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking maybe cropping in from the sides a little more.
I thought that as well, Mark.
To make the sides bigger.
Yeah. There's the resolution for it.
Well, you know, like maybe around here. You know, something like this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let me blow this up now. Yeah, I think that helps. That helps actuate. Listen, I can't even talk. It accents the signs.
Sure, and that's what I was trying to show. I mean, these houses behind this gate are, you know, $250,000 to $500,000, and this is their entrance.
All right.
I like that without the story, it was just it was sort of like a curiosity and a comedy at the same time. Like, what's going on? And obviously, nobody wants you coming in there.
No, and it is. It's almost a tragedy, right?
Yeah, it is. Now I see that you provided this to me in RGB mode. So you know what I'm going to do?
I had it as a TIFF, so I had to save it as a TIFF.
Okay.
This is from that Sigma.
Oh, what do you think of it so far?
It's good.
I just want to try the green filter on it, see if you have enough data, and you don't.
So what camera is this, William?
It's a Sigma DP2. It's just a point and shoot.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that Sigma Merrill.
Uh-huh.
There's just something about the Foveon sensor that just really appeals to me.
Me too.
But apparently, they have reached the limit of resolution in manufacturing those sensors. They must be so difficult.
I think the problem is getting the light to the third level in the sandwich, right? I think that you can only make it the pixels so small. But yeah, the Quattro is the new one, I think. Yeah, that they have. It's mirrorless, and it appeals to me a lot because you can still pull the IR filter out of it.
Yeah, that is a big deal.
You know, and then you've got something that does everything.
Look how crisp and sharp this is.
It does this on all of them, Mark. I was using it today, just testing it out on some, you know, flowers and stuff, and it's incredibly sharp. But it's just, you know, and well, the lens is completely matched to the body.
You know, this is wonderful. I might go in and reprocess the color image again.
Okay. You know, now that you told me that, I'll do that. This was just a straight convert to black and white. I didn't process it in color.
Yeah, process it in color first.
I will.
Adjust the greens and adjust the blues of the sky and the colors of the asphalt coming in. Okay.
Uh-huh. What are you thinking? What's your initial impression? What would you do?
I would brighten up the greens
Okay.
and go dark, light, and give stair steps of green contrast coming in from the sides.
Okay. I gotcha.
Then go into the black and white processor,
Okay.
silver, and add that green filter.
Okay. I can do that.
And see what that does. And the yellow filter would probably do good too. It's going to bring out more in the sky.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I noticed those filters in there, and I tapped on a couple of them. This is last 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks I've actually shot any black and white, or with the intent of trying to shoot black and white.
All right.
So it's very much a learning experience for me.
All right. Well, I really like this. This is exceptionally well done, and it's one of those images that tells a good social story.
That was kind of my thought behind it. I've driven by this for probably the last year since they put it up, and it's I always tease my wife or threaten her I'm going to stop the truck and get out and take a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this works. Take away a little of this down here.
I will.
And make the.
I liked your crop a lot better. You're right. It brings it right in, and I even cropped this more than what it was. But when it first shot it, I should have stepped up closer. And I just might go out and reshoot it this week after work and step into it closer.
Yeah.
So that you have an in-camera crop.
Yeah. No, I like this. Any you guys have any thoughts on this besides?
It's just a great contrasts in there. I really like the contrast. As soon as it popped up on the screen, just the signs and the grate against the street behind it, the fence material.
Well, even the stop sign up there.
I like this stop sign because that used to be a through street, and now it's just there. It's kind of a no man stop sign.
Yeah.
Even doing a black and white conversion, but leaving the stop sign red.
That's an idea I hadn't thought of. That's a good one. I'll have to do that.
So, William, if law enforcement or emergency vehicles have to get in there, do all the cars have their own opener or what?
They have a master key.
Huh.
All those locks have a master key issued by the city.
Okay.
Yep, lovely, powerful image with a story.
Yeah.
I like these. I like the attempt. I like the interpretation. And the execution is very well done.
Thank you. And I, when I was taking this, I thought of Michael's shot last week where he did the intricate work on we never figured it out on the bridge.
Oh.
Right.
And yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. All the intricate details in there with the grading and all that. But yeah, Michael inspired me a bit to convert it to black and white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
This you want this style of image in black and white. It's just much more powerful.
Agreed.
Wonderful. I enjoyed all of these images tonight. You guys did a wonderful job. You picked great images. They were fun images. Every single one of them were really, really well done. Do you like this format still? You getting tired of this?
No, I think it's great.
I'm not. You'll catch me here every Saturday night or Sunday night if you're doing it.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
enjoying
as you noticed, this is our third one. I'm trying to push them forward. I just wish we could get the rest of the people, the cohort.
Well, last week's was pretty well attended.
Yeah, I made this Saturday night because Shauna said she could attend.
Okay.
And then she didn't come, so I'm going to have to talk to that young lady.
That's your job.
You bet. Well, let me stop the broadcast, and then